Morning. So here is an update. I am sitting in the closet right now. Jaymon did get home from his cancer treatments about midnight last night. He's been gone for a couple of months. He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. They did they did the intensive first round of chemo treatment, and he came through that with flying colors successfully. They did a bone marrow biopsy yesterday just before they released him to find out if it's in remission. And then moving forward, if it is, there were three options that the hospital gave Ray. And this explains why he's back home. The options were number one, he could possibly be a candidate for a bone marrow transplant and stem cell transplant. There's a lot that entails, and we'll go into that in another post. Number two, the regular chemotherapy treatments, that would be 3 to 4 years. After 5 years, he and shows no sign of this returning, he would be considered in remission, like complete remission. However, there's a difference between curability and life expectancy. Again, we'll go into those details. And then the third option was hospice, stopping treatment and just doing hospice, whether it was in the hospital or at home or at a group home. Now, the hospital gave him no other option for life-saving treatments unless he came home. So, number one, there were no group homes or nursing homes or other facilities that could or would take him, regardless of what insurance pays for. And if they did take him, going into a group home setting or a facility setting of any kind would completely eliminate him from any life-saving treatment. It would just be on hospice. So once again, my husband was given the choice to either stop treatment and allow his son to die very quickly, or bring him home and consider any other form of life-saving treatments. And again, we'll go into what all of that looks like. But here we are. They just get home midnight, but last night, after being gone for a couple of months. And I know there's always an adjustment period when you get home. Jaymon seemed to have settled in just fine. But there's already been some choice words and slam doors and a little bit of just uneasiness this morning already with the behavior. And we're going to just start posting pretty much as things happen and what's happening, because it's so unreasonable to expect for one person to take care of him. And he minimally takes two people at all times. Now my husband's out there with him. They're playing music. I believe things have calmed down. We're safe at this point, but how safe can you be when things change just like that? So he's been perfectly safe in the hospital, but he has been in a hospital clinical setting. When he says jump, every single person in the hospital, including my husband and nurses and doctors and cafeteria, says how high. And so this morning he got up, I was making breakfast. Remember, he's diabetic, so he needs his breakfast at certain times. He's a critical diabetic, which means he needs to have his insulin calculated just right, based on carbs, based on his current numbers, and given insulin a certain number of minutes before he eats. And so my husband's trying to unpack, get all of this stuff, get all his meds out. Normally his meds are in a bubble pack, and it's marked what day and time he takes things. It's not the case. He's just got a pile of meds from the hospital. He's trying to sort this all out, and they're not all once a day. Some are a couple of times a week. Some are so many days in a row and then stop it for so many days. It's not very easy to figure out in the beginning. We're going to really have to make sure we're staying 100% on point with that. But he's trying to figure that out. He's trying to get his own meds out. I'm cooking breakfast. Jaymon just decides to take a shower, which normally, again, he could do in the hospital with no problem. But while he's here, this is the reason that it's so unreasonable to expect one person to just take care of him, because when he was home before, it would be breakfast so that we could time his insulin and all his other meds perfectly, and then a shower. And while he was in the shower, then my husband could quickly take a shower. Because what people don't realize, it's a cat over here distracting me, sorry. What people don't realize is that Jaymon decides to take a shower, throws off the schedule. If Ray doesn't stop everything he's doing, go take a shower right then and there, he's not going to get a shower today. He's not going to be able to just take his eyes off of Jaymon for any period of time. And this is why it's just crazy to me. There was a meeting with the doctors, the social workers from the hospital, two community mental health workers, two people from his insurance company. I'm really upset that Adult Protective Services wasn't there. His Adult Protective Services worker has actually been very compassionate and understanding quite a bit more lately with this situation, because I think she's realizing the position my husband's been put in all along. If community mental health is going to call and say, well, he's been released from jail, or the group home released him, or the hospital's going to release him, you better go pick him up or he's going to be on the street. It's almost hard to believe. But now that we have, teams of doctors saying that if we really knew what we were dealing with behavior wise, we may not have done any treatment to begin with. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because I made 110% sure that social worker knew everything. That there was nothing I left out, no stone unturned. And now it's saying, oh, well, we really didn't know. So it's been heartbreaking. You're talking about somebody's life. Every life matters. And even talking with the transplant team, they're saying, well, someone has to sign the contract. You have to be with them a certain number of days, 24 hours a day, 100 days for 24 hours. And after that, we had to say, oh, hang on, Jaymon needs someone 24 hours a day, no matter what. It's so hard for people who've never been in this position before. And community mental health has finally said this is uncharted water for them. They've never had to deal with something like this. The hospital saying that they've never really dealt with a person with his issues before. The doctors, the social workers, everybody involved is like, yeah, this is kind of new territory for us. So this is where we're at now. I believe that I am probably safe to go head back out into the house now. And things have calmed down, and we will just keep everybody updated. This explains why he's here, why I'm still here. And that doesn't eliminate the concern for safety. And we're going to keep bringing awareness between with all of the different issues that we're experiencing. And even if Jaymon were a perfectly healthy, I want to say healthy, with having no medical issues and just some special needs where he needs someone to care for him, or if he had no other issues and was only sick, we're not the only ones that deal with the issues of family being caregiver and getting no help and no financial help, support, or anything. But anyways, we'll just keep everybody updated. But for now, he's doing good. Thanks. Bye.